Good night. This is Teaching, Reading, and Writing 1, Group C Peer Review. I am Miss Sarah Jones. The members of this group are Miss Gian Bailey, Miss Tylisha Seeley, Miss Melissa Nurse, and yours truly. In this presentation, you would hear the mention of phonics and phonemic awareness, the difference between consonants and vowels, how sound is produced, useful phonics and phonemic activities for the development of learners, as well as 3 teaching aids will be described on how it can help learners to develop in literacy within the components of literacy. Now, how are songs produced? Speech is produced by bringing air from the lungs to the larynx, respiration, where the vocal fold may be held open to allow the air to pass through or may vibrate to make a sound, phonation. The airflow from the lungs is then shaped by the articulation in the mouth and in the nose. Articulation. To sum it all up, the 3 mechanisms that helps to produce sound would be respiration, the lungs, phonation, the larynx, and articulation, the mouth. Now, what is phonics, phonemic awareness, and how is it important? Phonemic awareness is the ability to hear and manipulate sounds in spoken words and the understanding that spoken words and syllables are made up of a sequence of speech sound. Phonemic awareness is important because it teaches students about how to manipulate sound, how to enunciate and pronunciate letter sounds. Now, what is phonics and how is it important? Phonics is about the letter sound relationship. It helps to turn text. It helps turning text into sound that each letter is made. As such, phonics help words become easier to pronounce. Vowels and consonants. Now, what is the difference between vowels and consonants? Now that we know what is phonemic awareness and phonics and why is it important, what is vowels and what is a consonant? Vowels are the letters that you pronounce where your lip, your teeth, and the roof of your mouth, they're not touching. For example, a, they're not touching. There is no restriction within the vocal tract. As well as vowels, there's 5 vowels and 20 vowel sounds. Now, the difference with this and consonant, there is partial or complete closure of the vocal tract. When you say it, sometimes your teeth, your lips, and the roof of your mouth with your tongue touches. For example, m, d, d. With that, my lips were touching when I said my teeth was touching top and bottom when I said D. The sound of D makes D. Now, with consonant, there is 21 consonant and 24 consonant sounds. That is the difference between vowels and consonant. Now that we're familiar with this, let's look at some activities that we can do with learners for them with phonics and phonemics.
2 phonemic awareness activities that might be useful to young learners are clapping syllables. For example, we have the word under. Then we have the word tractor. And then another activity that might be useful is rhymes or songs. So we have the snake in the grass, the snake in the grass, the snake in the grass. This activity will help to bring out the sound of the letter S.
Thank you, Miss. Vocabulary. Vocabulary refers to the words we must understand to communicate effectively. Educators often consider 4 types of vocabulary: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Listening vocabulary refers to the words we need to know to understand what we hear. Speaking vocabulary consists of the words we use when we speak. Reading vocabulary refers to the words we need to know to understand what we read. Writing vocabulary consists of the words we use in writing. As a teacher, an example of a teaching aid that can be used for face-to-face teaching that will help to develop young children's vocabulary is the use of word and picture cards. For example, picture of a dog and the name dog is written at the bottom. Picture of a tree and the name tree is written at the bottom. Picture is used by teacher to stimulate student memory, as it is one of the strategies to attract students' attention in learning vocabulary. Pictures have an important role in the understanding of meaning. They give illustration of something and make it clear. Pictures are used to help students to understand and comprehend something clearly and easily. Developing young children's vocabulary online, as I will use vocabulary games. Example, Scrabble. Word games can help improve one's vocabulary through different learning processes. Scrabble or word games with friends, for instance, are examples of games that prompt an active learning process, as the players need to study and enrich their vocabulary on their own time to succeed these challenges. Through an online Scrabble word finder, they can input several combinations of letters to find less words that can made with them and then learn them by heart.
Good evening.
Thank you.
I'll be telling you about the Fluency teaching aid, and I'll be giving you a description about it and how it can help learners develop within the component of literacy. Now, first of all, what is fluency? Fluency is defined as the ability to read with speed, accuracy, and proper expression. Now, as a teacher, an example of an online teaching aid that will help to develop young children's fluency is a reading passage with pictures on the teaching aid. Relating to the reading passage, whereas guided oral reading will be done as an instructional strategy that can help students improve a variety of reading skills, including fluency. Now, how it can help learners develop within the component of literacy. Now, reading aloud allows children to hear what fluent reading sounds like. So teachers can read aloud. So as they read aloud, the children can hear what fluent reading sounds like. While reading to children, we model an explicit teaching, right? What it takes to read accurately at an appropriate rate. Now, the more skilled the reader is with decoding, the more fluent they become. As the fluency increases, so does the reader ability to comprehend what they are reading. So that child will be able, as that child see that teaching aid in the classroom, and the teacher models the reading, and the child understands what fluency is and what a fluent reader sounds like, that child will be able to develop, that child will become a fluent reader. As they read, that child is hearing what a fluent reader sounds like. Thank you.
Writing ability. Writing ability is one component within literacy that is very important. Writing ability includes knowledge and abilities related to expressing ideas through written words. So it's basically communicating through writing. As educators, it's important to always incorporate the writing stages as well as focus on developing learners' writing skills such as sentence construction, vocabulary, transcript, and developing their writing qualities such as correctness, development, and unity. Now, a teaching aid, a face-to-face teaching aid that can be used for the development of learners within this component of literacy is what such as this. Why? Because it serves as a guide to tell learners what they should have when they're writing. This teaching aid tells them to use finger spacing. It's always important to use finger spacing when you're writing so your words aren't jumbled up. Use punctuation marks, such as the full stop, the comma, the question mark, and exclamation point. This tells that the sentence end or there is a pause somewhere. Use an uppercase letter at the beginning of a sentence. It's always important to begin their sentence with a capital letter, and this teaching aid would serve as a reminder to tell them to do this. Also, use the word wall to spell words. This encourages them to utilize the word wall within their class to spell words that they may not know and to incorporate words that they have already learned. This teaching aid also reminds them to reread, which is important. Some persons would write and they don't reread. So this teaching aid will serve as a guide as well as a reminder on what learners should do when they're writing. Now, this teaching aid can also aid educators. It can serve as an introduction to the writing stage, drafting, and it can be especially useful during the third and the fourth stage of the writing process. Thank you.